Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. The new Abyss 12 recently dropped and that gives us another potential opportunity for this type of challenge video. So today we're going to see how 20 different teams perform against the greenest of all chickens in Abyss 12 3-1. So it's been a while since this type of challenge video. The main reason is honestly just because there has been a lack of great this type of challenge scenarios. The new Abyss 12 has graced us with a great scenario for this type of challenge video, the Jadeplume Terrorshroom. The Jadeplume Terrorshroom is actually a rather unique boss fight. It is probably the most durable, single-phased boss fight without a bunch of damage reduction or iframes at the start of the fight. Think about all the other scenarios we've dealt with. They all have a long period of invulnerability or multiple phases or other gimmicks. But first, it's time to pay some bills, and today's sponsor is NordVPN. If you're a wanderer of the world wanderer web, then stop wandering if your web wandering experience is safe with NordVPN. NordVPN will allow you to stop wandering about your privacy. NordVPN is obscenely easy to use, protecting your privacy with just a single click. Connect up to 6 devices with over 5,500 servers in 59 countries. I personally use NordVPN to play Phantasy Star Online 2 on the JP servers because they IP block anyone outside of Japan. Just go to nordvpn.com/iwinTolosegaming to protect your browsing experience. There are currently 3 epic deals to choose from. The standard VPN, the Plus package, which adds the Nord Pass to generate and secure your top secret passwords, and the Complete package, which adds Nord Locker, which encrypts and allows you to store and access files from anywhere. But that's not all. You'll also get a bonus 4 months on top of all these plans and products. It's risk-free and has a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just go to nordvpn.com/iwinTolosegaming to get some huge discounts today. Huge thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. As such, a couple of my speedrunner friends, Aliss and Shintenzu, and of course myself, took 20 popular-ish, speedrunning-ish teams to chop up some green chicken goodness. Aliss is a longtime Genshin Impact speedrunner, known for his Ganyu speedruns, and Shintenzu is one of the most dedicated Xiao speedrunners out there. Do check out their YouTube channels and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Anyway, since there are 20 entire teams, we'll need to go through each one fairly quickly. We spent a reasonable amount of time on each scenario, and each scenario can obviously still be improved, but you know, we don't have an infinite amount of time. We'll be going through this alphabetically because why not? And I'll also be dividing this into some tiers. Less than 10-second clear time will be an SS rank clear time, 10 to 12 seconds will be an S rank clear time, and 12 to 24 seconds will be an A rank clear time. And finally, 24 seconds and above will be a B rank clear time. But before we get started, we need to include some disclaimers as always. All runs in this video can be improved. I simply do each of these runs a few times and pick the best time for each of the situations. I'm not here to grind infinitely to save a few frames to a few seconds. Each of these runs are done to the best of my abilities and problem solving within a reasonable amount of time. This is simply an anecdotal comparison between these characters and my levels of investment in problem solving and skill. Because my characters are all at Constellation 6 for 5 and 5, this is not an accurate reflection of their power levels at lower constellations. Just because character A is better than character B in a specific scenario does not mean that character A is better than character B. Please take everything with a giant grain of salt. Since we're going alphabetically, Arataki Itto is up first. Let's see how our bowl-tossing extraordinaire performs against the mushroomiest of all chickens in Teyvat. Our number 1 Oni managed to easily one-cycle our green chicken friend in 17 seconds and 52 frames. This lands him solidly in the A tier clear time range. It's worth noting that my Itto's artifacts are on the not so great end, and I also tried a couple variations including Bennett, delaying Itto's burst for Goro, etc. I can see him improving on this, but for now, he's going in the A tier. Up next we have Shintenzu, who volunteered to put himself through an old school Diluc melt team. In all honesty, this is a terrible fight for sustained vape and forward melters, as anytime this obnoxious Dendro chicken applies Dendro to itself, vape and forward melt get messed up due to burning. After the very unlikely chance that the chicken doesn't apply Dendro to itself for a very long time, Shintenzu's Diluc did manage to clear this in 31 seconds and 45 frames, which puts this old school Diluc melt run into the B tier. But we're not done with Diluc just yet. What if we have a much more front-loaded damage-oriented melt Diluc setup with Ayaka? Now that's more like it. Thanks to Ayaka's defense shred from her constellations, Diluc was able to output 5 melts in rapid succession to roast our green chicken friend in 9 seconds and 30 frames. Let's just ignore the fact that Ayaka did half the health of her chicken even without Viridescent Veneer shred, and we can give Diluc the credit of an SS clear time. Up next in our alphabet soup of runs is Eula. Eula opens up strong with her signature nuke combo to quickly blow up our green chicken friend to little chicken smithereens. Our green chicken friend has around 1.6 million hit points as well as some increased resistances. Now I am 100% sure that Eula can do this in 10 seconds because, well, someone actually already did that. However, due to the nature of this video as well as a roughly equal investment of time into all characters involved, my Eula completed this in 11 seconds and 41 frames. Still a great S rank clear time. After E comes G for Ganyu. Something seems off about that, but oh well. The goat is back and she melted our parsley chicken friend in a blistering fast 9 seconds and 34 frames. Huge thanks again to Aliss for providing Ganyu's run in today's This Type of Challenge video. And now for the queen of pyro nukes herself, Hu Tao. Our little coffin slinger did not disappoint at all. Her trademark Ghost Slap did a colossal 1,218,041 damage, which is 3/4 of our chicken friend's health. Ayaka managed to significantly improve Hu Tao's damage thanks to her Constellation 4, and she had no trouble at all doing the remaining 1/4 of the chicken's health pool. This is the fastest time by far so far, and easily deserves an SS rank. Kamisato Ayaka is finally up next as the actual main star of the show. After supporting 2 pyro characters, Diluc and Hu Tao, unsurprisingly, Ayaka was able to effortlessly put our chicken on ice, as she froze to death the oversized mushroom in just 9 seconds and 17 frames. And of course, Kamisato Ayato is after Ayaka. Well, perhaps I should rename this run to a Yelan run with Ayato, but oh well for now. I also did a run without using Yelan's Constellation 6, and it was a couple seconds slower, but I accidentally deleted the clip. Yeah, so not the perfect handling of this situation. Anyway, with the help of Yelan, Ayato was of course able to effortlessly finish off the remaining bit of health on our green chicken friend. Anyway, after Ayato is Kachin. Keqing has definitely improved as a character since Dendra's release, and she probably would have struggled to even single cycle this thing prior. It's also important to note that the Jadeplume Terrorshroom has a lot of Dendra resistance, thus severely hindering Nahida's damage output. And Nahida's damage output is actually very important to a Keqing team. Alas, what can we do besides make a note of it and move on? Keqing cleared this in a respectable 20 seconds and 42 frames, landing her in the A rank. We have a lot of characters that start with K, and the next one is Kokomi. For Kokomi, I did 2 runs with her, and 1 run is without Yelan's Constellation 6. This is the problem with having Yelan on the team, because you either have to decide to use her Constellation 6 or not to. We can see that Kokomi, being purely an on-field driver for this team, completed this in 16 seconds and 5 frames. In this next clip, we actually use Yelan's Constellation 6. So with Yelan's Constellation 6 actually being used, now Kokomi's team managed to complete this in 12 seconds and 20 frames, saving her nearly 4 entire seconds. Either way, both these runs land squarely in the A rank. We finally get to move on to another letter, Nilo. This was a 400 IQ nuke setup that did manage to one-shot our robot chicken friend. Nilo's comically long nuke setup did manage to vaporize our chicken dinner in just 14 seconds and 18 frames. Another A rank clear time. And next we had the Raiden Shogun herself. Well, Hyper Raiden performed quite well here, as well as within our expectations, being able to effortlessly slash our chicken to bits in an impressive 10 seconds and 49 frames, earning her a respectable S rank clear time. And our first Fatui Harbinger of this video is none other than Tartaglia. This classic international child team has aged amazingly well, all things considered, and was able to complete this in a blistering fast 11 seconds and 10 frames. Now, another child player did manage to do this in 10 seconds, but again, I need to emphasize that I need to go through 20 entire teams, so yeah, another S rank clear time with the potential for an SS rank. And after our first Fatui Harbinger is our second Fatui Harbinger, the Wanderer. Well, now that's some impressive single target DPS. After many attempts, my fastest clear times were when I just skipped the Wanderer's Burst. Our newest 5-star DPS character blew away some of the competition with his 9 seconds and 53 frame clear time, which is a great SS rank clear time. And how appropriate to have our original 5-star animo boy up next, Shintenzu's Xiao. Getting the dumb chicken to stay in Jean's death circle was surprisingly challenging, But as always, Shintenzu delivered a stellar Xiao run, completing it in just 15 seconds and 21 frames. And he did this with not so great cards too. Still, an impressive A rank clear time for Shintenzu Xiao. But wait, we're not done with Xiao just yet. What about Cryo Xiao? Unsurprisingly, Cryo Xiao is actually quite good against single targets. Back in the day, I would be comfortable claiming that Cryo Xiao, aka a Constellation 6 Shenhe Quill Dispenser, is better against single target boss fights than Anemo Xiao is. However, with the introduction of Farazan, I no longer believe that to be the case. Still, an incredibly competitive 15 seconds and 23 frame clear time for our Shenhe Quill Dispenser, Cryo Xiao. Well, we're getting to the end of the alphabet, and so Yoimiya is up next. Yai did reasonably well here, all things considered, especially given the fact that, again, this thing resists Dendro massively. So Nahida's damage, which is always important for an aggravate team, is severely neutered. Nonetheless, a still respectable 13 second and 54 frame clear time, which is an A rank clear time for our favorite Foxy Spirit. We've got a couple Yelan clips for you, brought to you by Aliss.
Shouldn't let your guard down. Busted.
With this first one opening up with a reasonable Tartaglia nuke, this allows Yelan to quickly dispose of our chicken friend with a double vape setup in just 9 seconds and 16 frames. But what if we only use Yelan? Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, she's able to go even faster than when she was paired with Child's Nuke. And she managed to complete this in 8 seconds and 44 frames. Both of these Yelan runs from Aliss land Yelan in the SS tier. Our last contestant is Yoimiya. Even with a mono pyro build, Yoimiya roasted our chicken in a great S-rank clear time of 10 seconds and 50 frames. I wish I had more time to try both melt and vape, but alas, this video already took a comically long time to make, so let's just wrap things up. Before I show you guys the results organized by time, do check out Aliss and Shintenzu's channels, as they were a huge help with today's video. So after running this with 20 different teams and sorting them by time completed, our chart now looks like this. Because Melt Hu Tao with Ayaka was 20% faster than even the second fastest team, I'm bumping it up to an SSS ranking. She clearly performed the best by far. Hu Tao with Constellation 4 Ayaka is simply uncontested when it comes to doing a ton of damage in a very short time window, but only against the second or third Abyss Chambers thanks to Hu Tao's Constellation 6. One really interesting pattern here is that outside of Hu Tao, there were a lot of teams in the 9 to 12 second range. Honestly, I view this as miHoYo doing a good job balancing Constellation 6 Refinement 5 teams. Again, what's interesting about this type of challenge video is the lack of any damage reduction from the Jadeplume at the beginning. Characters like Eula become fairly average in this scenario because of her ramp up time and the inability to build stacks on a victim like the Primogeo Vishap as an example. Another notable placement is Xiao. Xiao would have struggled back in the day to complete this with his standard hypercarry builds before Farazan. However, with Farazan, he's able to actually be competitive to his Cryo counterpart, and also with many other characters on this list. Now, aggravate teams like Yai and Keqing do suffer from the huge amount of Dendro damage reduction, therefore hurting Nahida's significant damage. So perhaps they'll have a better opportunity in the future when we have another appropriate scenario for this type of challenge video. Anyway, outside of Hu Tao, who are the real winners of this video? As always, it's Bennett and Kazuha. Kazuha was used 16 times, and Bennett was used 13 times. Another issue with this is that Yelan now exists and can theoretically make any character complete this in about 10 to 13 seconds, since Yelan alone can chunk the Jade Plume for 75% of its health. So I try to limit the application of Yelan in this video, although there are a couple of runs where we demonstrate this point. And last but not least, it's absolutely worth noting that the current Abyssal Moon does favor a lot of characters more than others. For example, Wanderer, Yoimiya, Xiao, etc. Anyway, this amount of runs already took multiple days and a huge amount of effort, so I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like and a subscribe. Also, I regularly make Genshin Impact videos ranging from Caesar showcases, DPS showdowns, guide videos, and more. So be sure to smash the subscribe button, as it's the best and easiest way for you to support my work. Also, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Win to Lose, signing out.